chance to come in. Sure, I'm not. Everything's going well. Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm Robin Hastings. I'm the Library Services Consultant for the Northeast Kansas Library Service Library System in Lawrence, Kansas is where I'm based. And I do quite a bit of teaching on project management. I'm in the middle right at the moment of a 4-week class on project management for Library Juice Academy, which is fun trying to balance that and being in conference and all that good stuff. And then I'm also going to do some classes for III. I think they're going to be free. So hot topics, I think is what they're called, later in the year. Not just project management, but user experience, all kinds of stuff. So that'll be my first time doing that particular one. So you guys, I just wanted to give you kind of an overview of the project management process. I'm not a big fan of, rigidly sticking by the rules. I'm very pragmatic. So I'll talk about the 5 phases and the formal way of doing things, but I'm a big fan of taking the formal and making it work for you. So you guys get, of course, to make your own decisions. I was looking at some of the projects that we do in Koha. Obviously, migration is a big one, but just code wrangling, coming up with, I don't know how many of you write any kind of code, whether it's CSS or HTML or Perl for the Koha system, but any kind of code wrangling can benefit from project management. And then I'm sure you guys have other examples of projects that you guys do. So to start off by defining a project, it's kind of where there's more of those things, not project has a defined set of circumstances. It's not something that you do every day, forever and ever. Checking out books is a project. Doing your collection policies is a project. So it has official project management association definition is anything 60 hours or more. My favorite time management system, getting things done, and the project is steps. You have to look up a phone number and make a call, that's a project. So there are several definitions, bits of complexity for projects. But basically it's just something that has a defined so managing projects, we do this because keep from reinventing the wheel. Keep from redoing things. One of the big things that I like at the end of a project is doing the lessons learned, making sure that all the documentation is done and that everything's put together so that you've got a record of how that project is done. You can go back and do it. So, things that you learn. Know how you're doing. At the end, it's one of those. Where am I going? Don't know where. I would like to get somewhere if you don't know where you are. So, if you don't have a defined outcome, then you can't. There are several different forms of project management. The traditional project management that uses the waterfall system where you go from one phase to the next without ever looking back. There's agile project management where you go you execute, and then you go back to planning the next 2 weeks, and it's very simple. Project management, which is a lot of lists and kind of a lot of pre-planning. But then you also look back and go back as necessary. So, additional project management, 5 phases: initiation, planning and design, executing, monitoring, and controlling. And I just said, one goes into the other. The execution is the actual work of the project. The monitoring and controlling is the project manager's work, where you're making sure that schedules are being met and budgets are being captured. Deliverables are being produced. And then, so for initiation, failure to plan is planning to fail. Is the quote for really. This is where you get your sign off from your boss to do the project. You make sure that you have a budget. You make sure that you have staff. What's in the project, the who, what, when, where, why. Especially, I try to tell you why is important because when you're in the middle of it, you do need to have that plan. Plugging through. There are a lot of things you can throw in the charter, but what the minimum things that I think are necessary is in the background, info, so even if it's planned to be done by this time, this is the case, that this is the sign off. permission to actually do the project. And this is all stuff that happens before you start even dealing with the major planning stuff. It can be done really quickly. If you're doing a project that you anticipate will take about 20 hours, I usually suggest finishing 4 hours. So if you're doing this, it doesn't have to be, you don't want to spend the entire 20 hours getting it together. You want to get it together as much as you can within a reasonable time. So when you get to administration, business case or some kind of and then budget models. You do not have to have a budget, a projection of what you think might be spent in the project. And for a lot of projects we work with in Koha, the budget is kind of secondary because it's staff time and it does cost money, but it's not actual money that you're not writing a check for it. So this is my favorite phase. I think it's super important and something that guarantees the success of your project. It greatly increases the team. So output from the initiation phase. That's that charter that you put together. You're going to have a project plan by the end of it. Work breakdown, schedule, and a glorified to-do list. Schedule of what's going to happen when. Additionally, that's by a Gantt chart, but I'm pragmatic, whatever works for you. And then you'll have a budget, a final budget, and whether that's hours spent by staff or money spent by administration, either way. Project management manages is Monday. And so we're lucky enough to have a team. A lot of us do projects by ourselves, and so forming the team members of the plan is really super easy. Say, hey, I've written a plan. Look at that. Have a team, though. Communication of the plan is a done. Make sure that the work's being done on time. So this is kind of an extension of your charter, but it's more detailed, like lower level thinking. So, Scope Creep, and that's where somebody has never written a website in their entire life comes up to you and says, hey, I know you're redesigning the website. Why don't we add this feature that's going to take 15 hours and $30,000 worth of stuff? It won't take but 2 minutes, I'm sure. Let's just throw it into the project. Define scope, and where your project plan comes in. You've laid out the scope, the boundaries around your project. Say, you know what, that's not really something that is planned for this phase. Maybe we can, look online, you can find scope change documents where the person is making the request has to figure out how much time it will take, how much money it will take, and get a stakeholder response time before the project manager considers it. So scope management is a huge document. Quality management so requirements. So far, there are no requirements that are communication plan. Again, unless you're doing this project by yourself, and even if you're doing a project by yourself, you still have stakeholders. There's still people who are in some way, shape, or form invested in the project, whether it's your boss because they're giving you the money to spend, or it's other people or other people who want to hear about how the project is going. So, how you move forward on the project process is part of the project. It's less important than risk management. One of the things I've discovered in project management is you sit down during the planning process and come up with every possible risk that your brain can come up with, and this is where brainstorming group is helpful. Um, Risks that are considered more or less likely. Um, Other than you've got them in your sights, unless you know, about them, but the risks of people getting sick, staff being ill, so you've already kind of thought about, well, if so and so gets the flu, then we'll need to maybe bring in somebody else. Or you've already considered how you're going to handle it, and when it happens, it becomes much less an issue because you've already kind of got a plan. It's one of those things that, again, unless you're doing a single person project and there's not much to do about it, then for larger projects, procurement management, if you're going to be buying, that would also be in the project plan. I mentioned the work breakdown structure a few minutes ago. It's a to-do list, but it's kind of a higher level to-do list than your checkbox list you use. Old tasks are 4 to 8 hours. Of 4 to 8 hours each. And then, like I said, your to-do list that you make in your time management planner is comes from those action steps. That being said, this is your project. You break down that work breakdown structure however you want. The results that you want from the project, help you come up with actions a little better. Um, and find that perfect middle ground there. If you've got too much detail, you're being constrained as to what you can do. If you don't have enough detail, you're paralyzed. You're not sure what comes next. So pick a happy. Well, are you guys familiar with I do actually because I use Tom's Planner, or Tom's Planner for standalone stuff, but Instagant is another one that actually um, connects with my Asana, which is my task manager, project manager. And I can take my Asana tasks and export them into Instagant and get this Gantt chart easily. But if you're just doing a standalone Gantt chart, Tom's Planner. They help you highlight something out and start having it so that I have a visual. I know a woman who writes her, she's an author of romance novels, and she plots her books and, and produces them. So there's different software you can use to help with your budgeting. If project budgeting is not too much different than organization budgeting, but just the way I believe is also important. I use Asana, I mentioned earlier. It's not a full project management. Um, it doesn't really, I didn't add it here because it's not budgeting, but I don't do a whole lot of budgeting in projects that I do. So Asana works really well. Okay, so once you've done the planning, that goes into the controlling process. And the code that actually changing over from one iOS to another. Controlling, not executing. I should have put execute and control up there. Um, again, project a lot of my projects have single this is the work while you work. You need to take at least a few minutes a week to just make sure you're meeting the budget, meeting schedule, completing your goals, whatever deliverables you set up during the planning process. But for the most part, you need to spend time doing the work. So you have your plan, and now we're on marketing. This is, like I said, this is kind of what you do while you're executing the project, and this is what makes you so efficient that you stay within your scope and you're identifying addressing the issues that pop up. This is the time to stop and think about, maybe you're running a little low, maybe you need to adjust your settings a little bit. And then and finally, you finish the project. You're all done. Um, before you completely close out and put it away and never think of it again. Oh, yeah, that's too late. The talking is for Brandon. I'm always ready for Brandon. So as I'm talking, it's oh, oh, I wonder. It might be a chat. Yep, yep, that's what it is. Okay, sorry, I missed that. Extremely broken and hard to hear. Oh, sorry. Hopefully, it will be better on recorded. Sorry about that. It's hard to. All right, we'll go back to this. I'll try to face this way. So that's project management in a nutshell. One of the things I heard at a to estimate how much time something's going to take, not how much time it'll take, and then you double it. And then be successful. You know, have a much better chance of you can integrate it into chart your management is able to manage humans. That is occasionally I think meeting management is also meetings that are and keep a record, take minutes, and distribute them. You don't want to be a project. Yeah, so early. So, that being said, um, the next overview of the project management. I have not and on workshops and that kind of thing. I teach a course now, but I took one, through Library Juice Academy. So it's a 4-day course. And then I think I was just saying, I'm doing hot topics, 4-hour workshops, and I'm doing the project management one in November. When they called me, I was like, we spent so much money with them at my previous library. I was very excited. I do. I said triple I know that. I like that idea. That's excellent. Yeah, Yoda. Meeting Yoda. Bigger projects, smaller projects. I mean, at this point, I think everybody's doing projects. I think all libraries are starting to even use the terminology these days. So, what kind of projects are you guys doing? Sure. You can make just about anything that has an end a project. One a class a couple of years ago, the library drew. One of the girls in the class wasn't doing anything at that particular moment, but she had just finished reading Swiss Family Robinson, so she made the getting off the island as a project, and she wrote it up. She did a charter, and she had wrote down the issues that they were having, and it was one of the most fun things I've ever graded in my life. I was really, it's a pass-fail class, and I was really sad I couldn't give her an A plus because it was a really well done thing. But yeah, anything can be a project these days. So just about anything. I have a project, a really good project charter for a website design, but I have not seen one for an iOS. But yeah, well, that would be a good question to ask the general group actually. And that's too. Well, that makes me wonder. Brendan and Bywater, they do a lot of migration. Do you have a kind of a path that you follow? No, that's yeah. Okay. Well, it might still be on the wiki. Yeah. My experience with migration, just a couple adding to a consortium. And yeah, Bywater just kind of had everything planned out and you just go, okay, yeah. We've done it Yeah, they've earned our trust. Yeah, yeah. One of the things I learned when we moved from Outlook to Gmail, there would not be a whole lot of training required there. I did massive amounts of training. I trained once a week for 3 months solid on different aspects of how you're going to go from Outlook to Gmail. Um, and that seemed to, it was a decision I made, with my boss's approval. I'm dealing with the exchange. And so we're moving to Gmail. like it or not. But I did so much training and so much communication that it actually went really way through. The people I thought were going to throw fits came to every single session, and they really. And I sat down with people with like the Outlook notes. One woman like ran her entire technical services department with Outlook notes, and she's like, "What am I going to do?" So we transferred them to that, and in different things. I showed her the little task thing, but that wasn't very exciting. Okay, the next one is starting in 2 minutes. So thank you.